Hey everybody, this is Lorelia. I am doing a YouTube live today, and it's been a while since I did one of these. But today I wanted to talk to you about a discussion that I recently had. So that's why I'm titling this live broadcast as "It's Easy to Stay in Debt." So last night I had just finished a class, and and it was a 4-week class that I had. And during the class, one of the students, a gentleman in the class, talked about. I'm going to talk to you about a discussion that him and I was having, and we were talking about how easy it is to go into debt. It's real easy, real easy. But before I go into that story, I just want to kind of lay out what made us talk about this. Um, this gentleman has said he had been watching a lot of my videos on YouTube, and so he had decided to make the investment in the class. And he had said that he was so glad that he made the investment because there were some things that he wasn't too clear about, and then he started, he got clarity. But the biggest thing that, at least that I took away from that conversation, and it really helped me, and that's always the goal of why I do these videos, is that he said that what he knows now, what he's learned in this class, is something that he can now pass on to his daughter. Not only is he going to rebuild his own credit, he's on the road to doing that, but he said that he now has a daughter who will be entering college next year, and that he can set her up now financially, that she won't have to make any of those mistakes that he made because he just didn't know. And I share with him, yeah, that's it. A lot of times we just don't know. We don't realize the impact and the devastation that can go on economically when you just don't know some things. And some people are fortunate to bounce out, of that economic or financial shackles of just not knowing. Some people are young enough, they learn at an early age. And so by the time they get into their 40s, which is where I'm at, they can now say, hey, I learned from it, and can look back on it and say I learned something from it. But then there are some people who just don't want to realize that they are financially and economically shackled. And so I just want to finish the conversation that I had with him. And that's why I told him, I said, see, now you are at a place where you can deposit what you've learned, whether it's from this class, it's from me, and help other people. And so he told me what he's currently doing. He's currently, someone at his job was having problems with debt collectors and trying to clear some things up, and he was able to share some things with him. And I said that's the whole point of why I do this, is that because I know that there are people that is on the other side of this screen who don't know a lot of this information. And if I'm able to share something with them, by all means, I know that it would help, because I always say there's 100 ways to skin a cat. There is. I'm not going to say my way is the only way when it comes to, rebuilding your credit, getting rid of debt. But I know that the way I do things do work. And I said, and now that's why I'm going to go into why it's so easy to get in debt. I said it really and I was explaining this to him. I said it really saddens me when there are people who know they are financially hurting, know they need help, and refuse to do what it takes to get the help. Because as much as I get the emails or the messages like, oh, I really don't have the money, a lot of times that's not it. because if I was to look at what an individual spent, the money is there. But this is what I told him, and this is what a lot of people don't know. This is not the season. With I'm not going to. I'm not one who buys into the doom and gloom. But right now, this is not the season to be a financial victim. This is not, because it's too much information, whether it's coming from me or someone else. Because, I have told people, there have been people who have reached out to me. We have did a consultation and they have said to me, oh, I was doing, working with this other person. I found this person, maybe even on YouTube, and I got all these great results. But, I'm thinking about doing something different. And I have stopped individuals and said, hey, wait. If you have invested in something and you truly have gotten results, by all means, continue using what it is that that person has provided. Because a lot of times we want to go from one person to the other person thinking that, okay, maybe this person will give me the magic letter. When a lot of times you've already found someone who you resonate with and their information works. And so you stay with that person. So I'm not here to say, oh, my stuff is the only stuff you need, and everybody else out there, is a non-factor. No. There's other people that if, my thing is this, just get the help, because being a financial victim, this is not the season for it. This is not, because there's too much information. And let me share something with you, ladies and gentlemen. No one cares. No one cares. There's so many people who do buy, the same people who will say, I don't have the money. I'm entitled for somebody to help me, are the same people who are crying about the political establishment that is in place now. And I'm not here to make this a political video, because the point that I am making is that those are the same people who will say, okay, the current president we have now in this new administration is going to do this, is going to do that to me. And my response to that is, no one cares. If you couldn't do something for yourself in the last political, with the last person who was in office, then what's going to make anything different now? And these are the same people who are crying the doom and gloom. And that's why I said this is not the season, because now I'm going to go into what I've said this video is about. It's real easy to get in debt, and that's what me and the gentleman was having a conversation about, in the class. It's real easy. And I want you to think, whoever watching this video, I want you to think for a second. You can pretty much, even if it's a secure card, you can start your journey of rebuilding your credit after you've gotten things taken off your credit report. You can start at a low 6. There are secure cards out there that know that they are lending to risky people. That's why the interest rates and the fees are high. And so that's why I did videos where, as I've said, there are people who are looking to get out of debt to get back into debt. And I say all that to say, you can start your journey to getting back into debt at a low barrier, secured credit card. You can get further in debt by going to get student loans. And that's something that him and I was talking about, because he was saying how now, because I did do a little piece on student loans, I had so many people talking about it. And so he said, now I'm able to share with my daughter how we can avoid her getting into getting from under the burdens of student loans, and we talked about, and this goes back to how easy it is getting into debt. To get a student loan, it's just a matter of you signing on a dotted line. And I said, it's something how I have did workshops, and there are parents who are still hoping on the fact of, I just want my child to go to college and I'm not concerned about the debt that he or she may encounter. And that's a sad place because, you know, like I said, I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but now a person can go to college and be, you know, burdened with easily over 50,000 or more in debt on it, you know, really easy. And so he talked about the advantages of how he looking at the advantages of going to an in-state school. You know, he's going to look into some scholarships or what have you for, you know, what have you for the daughter. And so going back to what I said, how easy it is to get the debt. So now you've started the debt roller coaster with credit cards. You're continuing to stay on the debt roller coaster with student loans. But don't you find it interesting? And you may not know this, but this is something that I share with him. I say, here you are, someone who is looking to start a business, and he knows that that was why he had an urgency to want to be able to rebuild his credit. It's because he knows that there are certain contracts in the line of work that he does that if his credit's not right, he won't get the work. And so I said to him, and that's what I want to say to anyone who's watching this video, don't you find it interesting that it's so easy for you to get a high interest rate credit card? Student loans are easy and accessible. You can even get a auto loan at a high interest rate. They're making changes to the Dodd-Frank Act. Don't know where that may stand. Of course, if you are financially savvy, the Dodd-Frank will work in your favor because now real estate investors, like I said, it's a whole different conversation. They can now go back to what they were doing in terms of seller financing. You know, the restrictions are not that high. Don't want to go off track, but Dodd-Frank also will loosen some of the rules in terms of how people, how banks will lend. So could it be a chance that we can experience what we experienced in, you know, 08 and 09? So I say all that to say, you got 4 ways of how you can get into debt. 4 ways. But going back to what I said to the gentleman, but isn't it something that in this country is so hard to get a business loan? And especially for individuals who look like me, African American. So the powers they may be, whoever that may be, you know, whoever's the puppeteer, you know, controlling the strings, think about it. It's easy to get credit cards. It's easy to get student loans. It's easy to get auto loans. It may even be easy with the changes with Dodd-Frank. We're getting a house loan. But isn't it something that it's hard to get a business loan? Something that can help you build wealth. Here is a gentleman who is trying to change his financial situation by building wealth for himself and his family. And a business loan is hard for him to get. And so that's why I said it is easy to get into debt. It is easy to stay in debt. But when you're trying to get past that line of scrimmage and go somewhere and go to the next one, it's harder. And so that's why I originally said in the beginning part of this video, now is not the time to be a financial victim. It's just not, because all you're doing is delaying your success. I tell people you either got 1 or 2 things. If you are low on money but have a lot of time, then you need to spend your time soaking up as much information as you can. As much information. I recently had somebody who in a private Facebook group that I have, who was asking questions about, you know, credit or whatever, you know, low on funds, you know, single mom, this, that, and the other. And it's the same thing I always tell people. If you're low on funds, but you got a lot of time, spend that time, put it reading as much as you can. And it's going to be a journey. It's not going to be fast. It's not something where, oh, I'm going to read this and voila. Because like I tell people, You didn't get into debt, overnight, and you may not get out overnight. So that is for the individuals who say, I just don't have it. And I'm a big advocate of, right now, as I film this video, we are now into tax season. It's currently February. 2 more months in the tax season year. There are people who are going to ball out with their tax return. And I say, if that's a person who financially is hurting and know they need, help. I don't even care if the investment is not even in what I have, but find someone that you resonate with and invest in their stuff, because now is not the time to be a financial victim. It's too easy. It's too much information out there. That's why I said, for a person who says, I really don't have it, my back is up against the wall, I have nothing, then I bet you that same person got a lot of time. So what does that mean? Shut off social media, shut off casual conversations that's not going to help you, and eliminate the TV, eliminate idle chatter, anything that's not going to help you get towards the goal that you're trying to get to financially. Cut it off, because remember, you're low on funds, but you got a lot of time. Because now is not the time to be a financial victim. Because like I tell people, it is not a coincidence. Like I said, whoever the powers may be, whoever's the puppeteer who, pulls the strings, all I can say is this, and this is the same thing I said to the gentleman. It is not by coincidence that credit cards are accessible for you, auto loans, student loans, getting a home loan. But what is hard is getting a business loan. Something to think about. Like I said, it's not coincidence. Something that could build generation wealth for you and your family is hard to get. But everything that's going to keep you in financial bondage is easy to get. I want you to look at that. The scales are a little uneven. They're a little uneven. If I get a business loan, I darn near have to, have an 800 credit score. I pretty much got to give them my firstborn child, whatever the case may be. But if I want to accumulate a student loan, credit cards, or what have you, that's no problem. All I got to do is just sign on the line, sign on the line, sign on the line, sign on the line. Something to consider. So that's really my point of today. I do these lives and I'm never sure if there's any chat going on. It's kind of hard from the computer. I know when I do it from my phone, it's different. And so I know after the video, I'll see questions. But it's something for you to consider, because now is not the time to be an economic and financial victim. Because like I said, there's no coincidence on why things happen financially. So I will close it out with this. That was my last 4-week class. What I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to have rolling classes that will be ongoing. Because what happens is I'll do a class and someone will reach out to me and say, oh, did the class start? And so what I'm doing now is doing ongoing classes. So all you would have to do, I don't have a website ready for it. So, but what I will tell you is that reach out to me by email at LORILLIA, B as in boy, PSP @gmail.com, and I will share with you more. Those who have already worked with me and, like I said, they've already had a level of trust with me. I've already signed them up without any website or what have you. But for those who are new to me, new to my messaging, and you need a website, there won't be one under this video, but never know at what time and day you may see this. So eventually you may see a website associated with it. But once again, this is Lorelia. And like I said, things to consider. Why is it so easy to get into debt? Something to make you go, something to make you think about. So once again, it's Lorelia signing off.